on your chin. Oh, yeah. This is the Goin Deep Show.
I play vintage baseball, okay? That means I like baseball. I like any form of a stick and ball game. Mm-hmm. So what happens a lot of the times is we get caught up in the thing that we niche down to. Wiffle ball, baseball, blooper ball, softball, hardball. There's all these different variations
a lot of
baseball.
balls.
And we get kind of angry, not really angry, but we get kind of like territorial. We play this style. We play these rules. It's very Dungeons and Dragons. If they switch some shit up on the Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey, don't fuck with my Dungeons and Dragons.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's like when you get to the point where you're, this is different than my way of doing it. I think you immediately forget that these are the closest people to you. They're the most similar to the way that you are. There's just this one or two little things that make it so that they seem different than you. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I think that happens a lot with the guys, too. And I blame the women, to be quite honest with you. I do. Because women manipulate shit. Women can do... It
goes back to Adam and Eve and the apple. Or Lilith.
It kind of pisses me off when my friends kind of don't see that that's what's going on. Or when they see what's going on... The worst is when they see it, and then they just keep fucking doing it. You know,
so it goes back to, and this has been recently brought up with my kid, is the whole bro code, but now chick code also. Because there's like somebody.
What's chick code? I never heard of that.
Well, it's kind of like bro code. Just
what's the rules of the chick code?
They've kind of stolen our rules. They like them. They kind of stole.
Is it like how they stole the she shed?
Yes. Yep.
What the fuck's a she shed?
Yep. That sure is. So it's the place where guys can hang out and drink beer.
There's got to be a different name for the bro code for the girls.
He really hasn't brought it up. He kind of likes this girl, and he saw her in the hallway, and his dick got a little stiffy over it. But she's friends with the girl that he just broke up with, and he's trying to figure out how to go through it and conversate and not fuck things up. But I told him, you got to scale it back. You got to let her come to you. You got to kind of like we were just talking about shit. You can't be like Stalker 101.
Oh my God, dude.
When it comes to shit.
I've heard some stories recently about Stalker 101s.
Yeah. I mean, and no means no.
Well, it's not just that. It's just I don't like to have any sense of reeking of desperation. And a lot of the times somebody's going through divorce or somebody's got dumped and they're by themselves and they got to do this. They're looking for something to fill that void that they had instead of just getting their shit straight and fucking, and do it right. But what this comes right back to what you're talking with your kid in high school and in grade school or whatever, when he starts to get interested in girls, it's always that sense of, okay, if I tried to be with this one and it doesn't go good, that one she's gonna say some shit bad about me. But I'll tell you this right now: I've had friends that I've become more friends with my exes, and they get to know the real me. So whatever the ex says, it kind of contradicts what the people experience in real life. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be what somebody thinks or somebody says. And you can, because I can repeat the same stupid bullshit 100 times over and over and over and over and over and over to everybody around. But those people, what I have determined is the simpletons who believe the shit they hear and don't bother to go and hang out and figure it out, they're the people you don't want to hang out with anyway. It's the ones who decide, okay, somebody's talking bad about you for some reason. Does that mean something's wrong with them or is something wrong with who they're talking about? And then they decide to come and talk and hang out and be around what they thought was going to be something that was going to be an awful experience because of what somebody said, and then they can determine it on their own. And for the most part, I've come to my closest friends by those people who broke through that bullshit barrier that these other people are saying and just found my fucking crew. It's been way better, and it kind of, they've done the dirty work for me, essentially. Having these having these people say anything that they got butthurt about, it trims them out of the situation because they're out there doing my dirty work for me. They're telling me all of these things, and then the people who I really like to hang out with break through that and come and hang out.
Amen.
So
to that.
it's not. Thank you, people who have a problem with me.
So, and on a side note, so thank you to Vincent Skinwell. Recommended a nice little concoction.
Oh yeah.
It is a updated version on the pink panty drink. We got some Natty Daddy 8% alcohol beer mixed with some raspberry lemonade and about 2 to 3 shots of vodka, all into this nice little panty dropper. Now, granted, I am not going to try to take advantage of the kid later on or bend him over in any way, but Erasure will thank me.
You ready?
Erasure will thank me when he gets home tonight.
For the whiskey dick, all you do is give me whiskey dick.
Hey, I'll give you a pill, all right?
You do. I still haven't used the last one you gave me. I'm waiting for that. It's a special occasion, like my birthday when I'm old. I gotta be, Did I ever?
You're not old, man. 50 is not old.
I know. I don't think it is either.
No, it's the new 30.
Here's the way I break it down, okay? And then I'm not trying to justify getting older in any kind of way. But you remember what it was like to be... I don't know, you may not.
I remember everything. That's my downfall.
From 0 to 10, your first decade on the planet, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You can remember vaguely what happened.
Oh, I remember a lot of shit.
When I was 6 years old, Reagan got shot in 1981, okay? I can remember that. I can remember watching it on the big old fucking TV in my house, my mom and dad's house. 6 years old. So I think the first decade of your life as a kid, you don't know any better. From 10 to 20, you don't know. For half of that, you don't know because you're going through puberty.
Your frontal cortex isn't developed yet.
You're popping pubes and you're getting horned up looking at girls.
Try not to get caught jacking off.
Exactly. So your first 20 years of your life are pretty much just dawn. Was it productive? No, but they were the years that are probably ingrained in your brain more than anything because you learned all this new things. That's why the 80s are so important to us. That's why we do these 80s fests and all that shit.
So, and that's also the time period where first loves happen. A lot of first happen, whether it's experiences, discipline.
The bar gets set.
Yeah,
right?
If you were in scouts or anything like that, church, whatever it may be, it lays that groundwork for what is to become.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I have some friends that I've had for over 40 years. It's a handful. But that have been there, whether it's been grade school, middle school, and then high school. And actually, the other day was an anniversary of one of our friends' birthdays, which, he was a great guy, hung out a lot, Danimal, and was known for...
Sounds like a cracker.
Dan Wilson, and that actually he passed away during COVID. In that as well.
Oh, it's terrible, man.
Yeah, but no, he was a great guy and everything else. So but back to what we're saying, those first 10 years, there's so many firsts that you have. And whether your parents are together, parents are divorced, whatever it is.
I just thought of a terrible thing to say.
No.
The first 10 years, I had my first blowjob. I got head during my first 10 years. Now, listen, on your mark and say, go, beat me, go ahead. What kind of sick, twisted bitch is going to fucking admit that they fucking got the head in the first... No, what I was getting back to...
I can't beat that.
What I was getting back to was, like, the first 20 years, the first 10, and then the next 10, they're fucking shot learning just life. You know what I mean? So... And then, at that point, you're already supposed to be working. Like, you're right? By the end of your second decade on the planet... Get a job, join the workforce, get a life, start to think about your future. That's what's going on. So
it's fucked up, and this is something that's brought up a lot. We work so much earlier when you're healthy, young, start a family, do whatever, and then when you retire, if you can retire,
no more energy left to do anything.
Yeah, to go travel if you haven't already done it. You just don't want to put things off. Yeah. So bang that little 18-year-old when she's bent over at the counter and she gives you a little wink like, I got daddy issues.
Aww. Just don't knock her up, okay? So now let's talk about your 20s to your 30s, though. I think, now that I think back on it, okay, when I started this podcast, I was 28, I think, 27 or 28 years old. No, I got married when I was 27. My ex-wife had one good year without the podcast.
Hey, that's slurping in the background, unfortunately, is Max.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I don't want you to think anything else there.
Wait, listen to that slurp going on.
It's an automatic sound effect.
I'm gonna turn it up. I want to turn me up here. So.
That's like a bar whore going down deep.
Jesus Christ.
And 12 inches of steel.
He's going at it for sure.
No, but you're...
So now that I'm 50, so just break it down to decades. You've only done probably 3 significant decades in your life, which makes me feel a kind of good but kind of bad at the same time, because I don't know if I've accomplished all the things I want to accomplish. You know what I mean? I still am very creative, and I'm glad I do what I do for a living, because I've never had to work a day in my life. I'm an artist. I'm a designer. I make money doing fun things, coloring things, and making things cool and stuff. So I can't complain when it comes to that part of life where I've actually been paid to do the shit that I like to do. That's something's very...
That is very rare and very important, to do things that you appreciate and enjoy in life versus just working for the man.
But so, okay, as we, at 50 now, we talked about... you talked about the pill. We were talking about... I had something to say about the Viagra pill. The Viagra pill.
The whiskey. Blue one.
It's been a whiskey. It's been kind of a whiskey dick Viagra pill kind of an episode. Listen.
Oh, it's that we would. So what I've found, because a lot of the other ones like Hims or whatever it is, they have a little mixture which it says not to do. So it's tadalafil and sildenafil.
I did the mints. I did the mints through Hims once.
Yeah. So it kind of mixes it together. So the one is like 20 milligrams, and there's 100. So if you either do the one and then wait and then add the other one, because you're not supposed to do them in a 24-hour period of time, or cut one in half, the 100 milligrams, and then use that, your own little concoction, she'll be begging. She'll be gripping into...
Here's the thing about me when I used that shit, okay? It wasn't an instance, and I know this person, if she ever hears this, she's going to be pissy that I bring it up, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to say your name, I'm not going to know who it is. We had a very realistic conversation about it, and I think this, I not to pat myself on the back on any of this, but even with somebody new in my life, when something was wrong, I could completely have a conversation about it. And she brought up the fact, she goes, there are people who are married for decades who can't have the conversation we're having right now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was she was very eloquent the way she put it. Now, she would probably listen to me say that and go like, I can't believe you said that, or this or that, or whatever. But no, she did say it in a way where I was like, it almost connected us better in a way.
So, actually, you've hit something on the head. So, when I first got the prescription, I was the normal guy. This is awkward. I was this way in my 20s. What do you mean I can't be doing what I used to do? And weight, cholesterol, all these different things play a part in it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'll just, ask the question. And then once I did, so then...
What was that question? Why can't you give me hard anymore?
Well, no. It was, I didn't have it to her. It was more so
you.
like... It was more so the other person, like, why don't you just go get a pill? And it was like, all right, fine. But then after getting divorced and being back out there, it was like, okay, does this come up? Do I not bring it up? Do I sneak it? Because some women, it kind of hits their ego as much as it hits our ego.
I was going to say the same thing.
In regards to that. So it's like... At first, especially with younger girls too.
Well, how many years younger? She was probably like 8 or 9 years younger than I was. But you're right. This hasn't happened before. Mm-hmm. That kind of thing. Is it me? Is it that? And those questions come up, and there's nothing more awful that a guy will feel than someone. No, because I mean, she was fucking gorgeous. She was beautiful. No problems with that at all. I think I've mentioned in the past. I think the only thing that really hit home was she reminded me a little bit of my ex-wife, who I had spent a lot of time trying not to be attracted to. That's all it was to it. But I didn't want to solve it, and I liked her a lot, and I didn't want to like wreck that. So I mean, we tried to, make things happen. Things broke down for other reasons because I'm a fucking asshole sometimes, and I didn't want to. I don't know. I think most men, and I will be the first to be in that line, we don't know how to properly break away from someone in a respectful and healthy way. We just don't. So it's almost easier for us to fucking destroy something in a blaze of fucking glory than it is to approach it in a way that's much more respectful. Am I right?
No, that's the whole punk thing. But let's face it, usually for men, because we always do lag behind our female counterparts when it comes to relationships, they've already usually got 1 foot out the door where we still think everything's going great, everything's working, everything's this. And then, when they're out the door, we're like, wait a minute, what the fuck happened? No. Unless the relationship dynamics are totally different. Sometimes that you both are on the same page. It's like, you know what, we have fun, I like you, this has been great, but it's not working. And then you see that she, says that she's never wanted to be married, never wanted kids, and the next thing you know, she's pregnant and married to somebody else.
That's always been a weird one for me because I tend to use certain things as escape routes when it comes to that. We have our go-tos, okay? There's a couple. I'm going to give you, any girls listening to this, I'm going to give you some secrets, okay, on how your guy is going to attempt to get out of this relationship, okay? The first is he's going to pretend he's fine with you and your friends, and then if he wants out, he's going to pick a fight with your best friend. And then he's the fuck out of there because the best friend's going to tell you how much of an asshole he is,
or he's going to try to bang your best friend,
and how you shouldn't be with them. And then it sets up this dynamic where you have to make a choice, and you're always going to choose the best friend. So he's on the outs, and he's like, "Oh, really? That sucks." But when he's the one who's really done that, okay.
And women do the same thing to dudes.
Okay. Secondly, will be the family. Same kind of a scenario where you're gonna get along fine. The family, he's gonna pretend not to like them or do some fucking crazy shit. Or you have an event you have to go to, and he's gonna be like, "No, I always go here and do this, and I'm not gonna do that." And then you
Thanksgiving Day,
you dodge that shit like the fucking plague. The other one is if you have kids. It's going to start off fine. He's going to love your kids. Everything's going to be good. But at some point, your kids are going to occupy too much of his fucking time. And then he's not going to be able to... The balance there and the communication there's got to be bigger than the kids or the scenario. And he will pounce quick and hard on, no, I am my own person. I don't want to deal with your kids with another guy. And then that leads into the next one, which is the other guy. I refuse to fucking interact or deal with exes. I don't fucking give a shit about your exes. I don't need to be buddies with your exes. I have one ex that I need to get along with, and that is my ex-wife's now husband, who they just got married this past week. Congratulations. And that's the only ex that I need to deal with because he hangs out with my kid, and that's the important thing. So that's it. I don't give a fuck about your ex. I'm never going to have to fucking deal with your ex ever. I'm never going to hear his voice. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to even know what he fucking looks like.
So that's... You just have to be cordial during social events.
No, I don't even... If he's going to be there, I just don't be there. And if I'm going to be there, if he's there, I just fucking leave. I'm not going to interact with your ex ever. Ever from here until the end of time. I don't fucking care. Because first of all, if you have kids, that's like 2 layers of bullshit that I just don't want to fucking deal with. You know what I mean?
I do. I'm in a little different boat because of the fact that my kid has got a stepdad. And actually, recently, it seems like he grew more of a pair. against my ex when my kid fucked up.
So you kind of like appreciate it.
I was like,
it's got you closer.
Yeah, but we have things in common and everything like that. And I'm like, kid, I don't really want to hang out with him, but also
you guys share the kid. That's the key. You have to deal with that. That's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's the only reason why it's like I'm cordial with him. But he also knows, and the dude's fucking bigger than me. The dude is like 6'5" and weighs almost 400 pounds.
Holy shit!
Yes, and so it's not
Sounds like the Undertaker.
No, he looks like the fucking Undertaker. But there was a time when we were going to like a soccer event, and something was going on, and she wanted to say something to me, and I like snapped back at her. I'm like, no, that's not what's fucking going on.
Right.
And he just like, I saw him like back up 2 steps. Because all he knows is I'm the crazy motherfucker that punched the pizza delivery driver for being over an hour and a half late. So he doesn't want to fuck with me.
Oh my god, I didn't hear about this guy.
Oh, you have.
You know when there's a certain level of weirdness that we have to kind of deal with on a regular basis. I haven't had to deal with that all that much. I'm trying to think of the last time. It was probably maybe a month ago. I went up north with Rachel for her kid's birthday, and he shows up. You can tell he's hovering in a way where he wants to interact, and I'm just like, I'm not going to interact with you. You literally, I don't care about you. I have nothing involved with you. I'm trying to attempt to be something more to the kids, but I just know I don't need the extra fucking human beings. As you get older, you just figure out how many mouths around you do you have to deal with, whether you got to feed them or whether you got to hear them. That's it. It's all it is. How often do you got to fucking hear these dumbasses or you got to feed these dumbasses? That's all it is to me. It's like that applies to pets, and it applies to humans, and it applies to everything, And I just don't have the time. I'm as I get older, I just nope. That's done. Well, never happening. Bye-bye. What's on that? What's next?
It's such a circling back about age. And that's the one thing you're going to find in the next 10 years is going to be like when you're at that halfway, I can't drive 55 point, it's going to be like, shit, retirement's not that far away. I don't want to do this. How am I going to take care of things? What's the right age? When do you take it? Because, supposedly, being 82 or so for guys in good health may or may not be now the common, life expectancy. So,
I've heard is that because they have a significant other? Because I've heard that's the case too. When you do have somebody taking care of you, that happens, and then you live a little bit longer, as opposed to being single. Like, I mean, come on, dude.
You're not single right now. You might think so, but you got the perfect world.
I enjoy my time to myself, and not. Don't get me wrong. I feel way more responsible with people and when I'm with someone, and that's what I feel like right now. But there's been some instances that just it's a reality check sometimes where it's just like, okay, you know what? No, I always will veer towards the least what's the path of least resistance. Okay, and so that what that means is if I do or say something and I get some static back on it, it becomes this little chink in the armor of what is going on. So that's all I will warn anybody who's around me is just like, I choose to hang out with whoever I want to hang out with, and if it's very easygoing and it's smooth and it's great, then I'll do that again. Mm-hmm. And if it becomes a little bit of an issue, I might choose not to.
So here's the lesson, kids. I make really good fucking drinks, so that's why the kid likes to hang out with me.
No.
And we have a love for baseball. You mentioned earlier about...
It's more the pussy. We like pussy. Come on now. We like the pussy. Yeah. And we'll admit we like the pussy.
Yes.
Without having to hide it every fucking 2 seconds. Men are men.
When you brought up a good point. When you go back to baseball... And you look at the art of the game and the other games that have come along since then. Yes, there's been some form of football, rugby, kind of that's been around for a long, long period of time. But between that and baseball, those are two of the oldest sports that have been around. Whether it's been from Europe brought over to the States, because let's face it, baseball, and you might hate me when I say this, it started with cricket. in regards to it, but it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's been around for a long, long period of time.
I should let you use this.
Oh, damn. Don't let me have the controls.
That's just soundboards. No, but what my favorite part about sports and baseball, essentially, more importantly, is I love that every baseball field is different. They try to hone in on everything about the game that can be consistent. But the one thing that they don't hone in on is the fact that they can make the fields all exactly the same, and none of them do. That's the greatest part about it. That's one of the things I love about that.
Satan.
It's the fact that they don't do that. Let's just test some sounds out so you get too familiar with them. What do we got?
Hail Satan.
Oh.
Satan. Hail Satan.
Damn it. We know that one.
You like that, Frank?
It's awesome.
You know who that is?
Oh, I fucking know who that is.
Some of the comments are so outlandish.
That almost sounds like him, too.
It is.
Damn. All right.
Mr. Clean's dance party.
All right.
Okay, so here's the thing about the soundboards. If you touch your finger in the middle of it, you can pull down volume and up and down with the volume too.
Good to know. Good to know.
It's pretty cool. So if you touch it and then just move up and down, the volume will go up and down too.
That's what she said. If you touch it, the volume will go up and down.
Go up and down. I have stuff to get to here. Let me fire up my notes here.
Let's get to this, and I'm actually gonna.
Okay, let's see here. What do we got? So many things. I did love the fact that I looked up Daphne Delore and our podcast came on. That's the fucking best.
So I got an awkward point this week. So somebody I know works or now is happily married and lives in the area that I go to work. And I reached out to them, or I actually stopped in the store and said, "Hey,
male, female.
Yeah. You know,
beautiful, good looking.
Oh yeah. One of the old Hooters crew." And she's married there with her husband, and works at one of the stores right around the corner from where I am. And we were texting back and forth. So, like, hey, let's do lunch. I'm going to be out there this week, and I'm going to hit her back up and say, "Hey, do you and your husband have time to go to lunch and go do that?" And that, because I'm happy that, and she's one of Keanu's friends and everything too. So it's like, all right, this is cool, because I don't want her to think the reason why I stopped in and said hi is not because of what the original Red Eye 1.0 would have done, but it's more so of, hey, this is somebody from your local town, and we've had fun hanging out and partying together, and I think it's cool that you're married to this guy.
This is exactly why I try to maintain friends with people, and I've done a good job probably over the past 5 years just saying, when you approach anyone, do you want to be friends with this person for the long term, or if you lose them tomorrow, will you be sad because of the stupid shit you did tonight, right? And that, it totally does apply, man. You want to make everyone who's around you at ease. You don't want to make them feel like, oh shit, I can't talk to him or that. Now, don't get me wrong, this whole podcast makes people come around me and be like that. But the fact of the matter is, I've made a shit ton of friends over the past 5, 6, fucking 7 years, because I don't go into it thinking, I wonder if I can go down on them. I wonder if I can fuck them. I wonder if I can do this. I wonder if I can do that. I go into it with completely intentions of, how do I maintain this person? How can I get them to come onto the podcast? And one of the reasons is to have a conversation with them. Have a deep connection with them. And get them in here to talk and just be a real fucking human being, not thinking, can I get my dick wet inside of them? That might ruin it, but I don't care right now because I just want to get my dick wet right now.
Well, and that was, that's kind of been the cool thing when we have different co-hosts coming into the studio, and we've had a great run of regulars, me being one of them, and getting to interact with them as well. So that's
one of the greatest things about the podcast, and I think that's one of the things that pissed me off the most about when the Red Eye 1 decided to harass me hard about like, no, we got to keep doing the show even if you're going through a divorce and you need to get things done and doing it. I need, fuck being responsible. We need to do the show. The show is make believe. This is all us just having fun. I wasn't going through a lot of fun at the time. If I got on that mic, I'd just be nothing but pissed off and fucking saying terrible things. And it was nothing nobody wanted to hear, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody wants to hear me talk about this now. But honesty is one thing. And when you're to a point where you don't even want to fucking talk to anybody, when you're doing a podcast, that's the hardest thing.
Yeah. Well, and you'll remember back when I took a pause from this whole thing. And you were totally cool with it. It's like, all right, great.
Most of the people...
This is what you are when you're ready to come back in the studio. Here we go.
Most of the people, when it comes down to it, I mean, Hattrick, she'll be in... She'll go 300-400 episodes not come in. They don't have to announce that they're not coming in. Mr. Clean's always like, he has to raise a fuss about it. The red eye with the fucking... I can't disrespect my person.
Right now.
I can't disrespect my person... I can't disrespect, my significant other. I'm like, you don't have to. I'm going to ask you questions. You can be clever and you can be funny. Well, what it comes down to is like just you're when you're genuinely yourself, and the thing that pissed me off when it came to the red eye stuff, him pushing so hard on it, and then I was like not ready, and then when I was ready, he was like, I can't disrespect my girl. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but I choose not to disrespect. I would do that. Come on. When have I ever not had a significant other?
Yeah, we all do.
What? Like literally since the time I was 18 years old, I've always had a fucking wing chick or some girl that I was hanging out with. It's never not had one.